Hi and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you about work-life balance. And I want to ask you this really important question. What do you really want? No, not what does the media tell you and what does outside influence tell you. What do you really want? Now, it's one of the first questions I ask my coaching clients because the vast majority, in my experience, don't want untold riches and world domination and to have 83 franchisees all working hard for them. That's virtually never been the goal. And in fact, the businesses that I've worked with in the health and fitness industry who have attained a certain high level of success, I guess, compared to others, are often really unhappy. Now, I'm not going to mention the gentleman's name, but one certainly pops up for me. Got the second location and then realized that he was not in love with his business anymore. The things that he'd loved doing, which was training clients and making a difference, he now had no time for. Now he was basically, even though his title was CEO or owner, he'd become a people manager, which wasn't something he loved doing. He was stressed out. He was now working more hours than he was when he was busy as a trainer. And yes, he had money, but that was it. He had no time to spend it or enjoy it. And he quickly realized that what he tried to grow was because he was in a group coaching process and he just got on the bandwagon and got caught up with everyone else and what they were doing and thought, well, bigger is better and I should just be doing more, I should have more, I can do more. And he got himself into a situation where he was bitterly unhappy with his business, and to be honest, he ended up closing his doors. He sold for what he could get it for and walked away and thought that was not the life for him. Now, flip side, I know another couple who I used to coach back in the day. In fact, I went to university with this young man when he was quite a bit younger than me. I went back as a mature age student. And they did incredibly well because even though they were in a similar group coaching model, they recognized early on that actually having this bigger than Ben-Hur business wasn't going to give them the lifestyle they want. So they very smartly kept to one location, didn't grow too big, and they've still got a great business which they're in love with right now, playing the roles that they most love. So what do you want? Do you want $1 million a year? And if you do, great. Let's reverse engineer the model that you need to have in order to make that a reality. What I hear so many people say, though, is they want time. They want financial and time freedom. It's one of the things that I coach my clients to achieve because I believe that's really what the vast majority of people want, is that work-life balance. They want their business to be the vehicle that takes them to the lifestyle they want, not the other way around. Okay, so what we need to do is really figure out what does that mean for you. And what I do, again, with my clients, we work it down to an exact figure. What is it that you need per year, per month, per week to enable you to have, first of all, financial freedom? And for a lot of people, it's typically around 150 to 200,000 personal income each year. So, well, great. What size business do we need in order to make that happen? And by the way, for some it's more, and for others it's less. The number is actually irrelevant. It could be 10 million, it could be 50,000. The numbers are relevant, but what we need to do is work out what does your business need to achieve in order to hit that goal. That's the critical part. And if we don't get that organized, then, well, where are you going? It's like playing a game of sport with no goalposts. Golf's hard enough as it is. If you didn't have a hole to go to, you're just whacking around and out in the fairway. And well, very rarely in the fairway, let's face it. It's big pointless, right? So that's what we first need to do. Now, a lot of you health and fitness business owners will be sitting there thinking, well, I've already got an existing business. And for some, it's sort of taking on a life of its own. But I can tell you, we can readjust the model to look at how can you make the most and serve the people you love and create that time freedom as well. Because that's the second step in the process. How much time do you want? Do you want to be able to pick your kids up from school, or even be thinking about having kids in the first place and knowing you've got time to be the parent you want to be? This is such a critical piece right now, and I really want you to think about this. This is going to be a multi-parter, by the way. This is part one. I'm going to do a part two and a part three. But how can you create that work-life balance? How can you create the business that is going to be that vehicle that takes you to the success you want, whatever that means for you? I tell you personally, I've had both sides of the coin. I remember starting out in my fitness business and didn't have a lot of clients, so I had lots of time. But I was stressed because I didn't have the financial components. And then as the business grew, financially became a lot more successful, but then I started to run out of time. Even when we moved over to the US, and I was getting very well paid working for a coaching company, health and fitness business coaching company, and yes, we were making great US dollars. We bought a house over there and it was fantastic. But it's nearly an hour commute to work in the morning, an hour back in the evening. I get back at 6:30. It's already the arsenic hour. For those of you who have kids will understand what that means. Everyone's tired, grumpy, and then I barely see the kids for an hour maybe, and then everyone's off to bed. And I do it all again the next morning, leave before it's light. And look, that just wasn't what I wanted. It's why we moved here to Bali, because I wanted to create that work-life balance, which I used to preach and teach my clients how to do. I really wasn't living authentically by doing that. So I really wanted to share this video with you because it is something that's very, very close to my heart. And I see so many people creating a business model that they fall out of love with and end up hating. And they end up it's like the education or the health system, by the way, is a great example. You've got this brilliant surgeon who's incredibly good at what they do, so they get promoted to head of surgery, and now they're not doing a lot of surgeries because they're head of surgery, and they basically become a manager and administrator. They lose a brilliant surgeon and gain sometimes a crappy manager and administrator. And that's what we can do in our own business. Sometimes we keep promoting ourselves to different roles, and they're not actually roles we want to do. So ask yourself that question. What is it that you want? What do you really want from your business? And then the next step is, what do you need to earn to make that a reality in terms of the freedom and time freedom and financial freedom you want? Let me know what your thoughts are in the DM below, or in the comments below, I should say, or shoot me a DM. I'd love to know what it is for you, and whether your business right now you feel is on track to get that work-life balance, or has it gone astray and now we're off on a different path and it's just taken a life of its own. Let me know. Love to hear from you. Cheers. Look out for part two.